Well, welcome everyone to our Key Club 101 workshop. If you're a new member or have been in Key Club for a while, this is a very educational workshop, we hope. So if you have any questions throughout this, feel free to leave it in the comments in our Zoom chat and we'll get to that at the end. Yeah. Before we start, I'm Lydia Tucker, and I was the immediate past Lieutenant Governor of Division 5, and I'm the current District Governor. Joey and Elfie.
My name is Alfie Sang, and I'm the Division 1415 Lieutenant Governor. And after this Zoom, I will be passing that on to my sister. So I'll be looking forward to making this an insightful and useful workshop for you guys and a fun end to my LTG career.
I'm Joey Murley. I am Lieutenant Governor of Division 29B, and I hope that this presentation is informative for you guys.
All right, so to get started, we're gonna look at the Kiwanis family, and more specifically, all the different organizations within the Kiwanis family clubs. So I'll give you guys a brief overview of most of these clubs and kind of like a definition of what they are and what they do. Obviously, Kiwanis International, that's the adult club, and it is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world, one child and one community at a time. Kiwanians are professional adults in communities in 80 countries around the world who work together to serve their communities and the world. Kiwanis clubs sponsor Klee clubs and other Kiwanis family clubs. The word Kiwanis means we build. The New England and Bermuda district of Kiwanis has nearly 200 clubs in communities throughout the 6 New England states and Bermuda. And so my personal experience with Kiwanis clubs has been amazing. The many times I've been to my local Malden Kiwanis club, I've had a great time. Not only do I get free food, but also there's always a great keynote speaker, and you really form connections with a bunch of these adults who put in the work to not only make their communities better, but the world better in general. Next, we have Circle K International, and it's the largest international collegiate community service organization. Much like Key Club, Circle K International promotes leadership, service, and fellowship on college and university campuses around the world. So Key Club Circle K International is more of a newer development. So many of the universities that hopefully you guys will attend in the future may or may not have the clubs. So don't be afraid to, when you make it onto campus, when you're in college, don't be afraid to potentially start a new Circle K International club. Don't be afraid to do so. So third, Key Club International, obviously, that's the club that we are all a part of. It's the oldest and largest service program for high school students. It is a student-led organization that teaches leadership through service to others. Key Clubbers build themselves as they build schools and communities. And the New England and Bermuda district has nearly 200 clubs with over 7,000 members. So really shout out to all of you high schoolers for not only being here, but recruiting and joining these key clubs. And a big reason for the high membership in key clubs is Builders Club. So Builders Club is the middle school version of Key Club, and basically there are over 1,300 clubs in 18 nations. Middle school students, they serve their communities and schools through Builder Club. If you have a Builders Club in your community, then it's very beneficial because, for example, my middle school has a Builders Club, and that's a big reason why our high school ended up having so many Key Clubbers, because through Builders Club, you form those virtues and those morals to serve your community and give back and be an overall better citizen. We have Action Club, which is the Kiwanis Club branch for adults living with disabilities. This is, in fact, actually the fastest growing Kiwanis family branch, and it empowers members to be themselves, to work together with friends, and serve those in need. And finally, there's K-Kids, which is the student-led community service club for elementary schools that teach members the value of helping others through service projects. So that's just a brief overview of the family tree for the Kiwanis Family Clubs. And why Kiwanis? So the Kiwanis slogan is serving children of the world. Kiwanis is involved in many district and international projects, which they serve the community and the globe. The New England Bermuda specific district projects are KBTI, Kiwanis Pediatric Drama Institute, Camp Sunshine, COPI, which is Children of Peace International, the Eliminate Project, and Trick or Treat for UNICEF. For international projects, we have Children's Miracle Network or CMN hospitals. We have March of Dimes and we have UNICEF. And all those projects we'll get a little more in depth with later on in the presentation. But they're all amazing amazing projects that help people throughout the world, and we really make a difference through these projects. So yeah, Kiwanis Family Clubs all revolve around the same purpose. We all do work towards a common goal to serve children and to better their home, community, and the world.
All right, so now we have, we're diving deep into Key Club now. So here we have our mission statement and our motto, carrying our way of life. And these are mostly just, they're kind of embodying what Key Club means for its members and for us as leaders. So these are not things that you have to memorize, but they're good things to refer to if you're trying to understand what being a Key Clubber really means. So Key Club was founded in 1925 in Sacramento, California. Basically, two high school administrators who are also Kiwanians wanted to make a club for some students that were very vital in the school. So first they only let boys in the organization, and then in 1977 girls were allowed, which, fun fact, was actually 10 years before Kiwanis allowed women, so go Key Club. So our core values also embody who we are as Key Clubbers. So a really fun way to remember our core values is through CLICK, caring, leadership, inclusiveness, character building, Key Club.
All right, so one of the very more important things to remember in your Key Club is the Key Club Pledge, which goes like this: I pledge on my honor to uphold the objects of Key Club International, to build my home, school, and community, to serve my nation and world, and combat all forces which tend to undermine these institutions. So these are good to know for meetings, conventions, and other Key Club events like divisional council meetings. Divisional council meetings are held by your lieutenant governor, and some Key Clubs say at every meeting, but others don't. But it's all about what your Key Club prefers. But most Key Clubs say every meeting, and it embodies our duties and missions as Key Clubbers, which is outlined in the message. So here are the colors that represent Key Club. Blue, which represents unwavering character, and then gold, which represents service, and white, which represents purity. All right, so for you guys that might already be familiar with this if you just joined Key Club this year, but dues are paid every year, and it's usually about $10.50 per member each year. 7 of that goes to Key Club International, $3.50 goes to the New England and Bermuda District. Some Key Clubs charge extra, like say $15, and the rest of it goes directly to your own club. And dues help fund scholarships, materials, and events, which make Key Club International the largest student-based high school organization. What's really important to remember is the early bird deadline, which is November 1st, 2018. It says your Key Club gets a banner patch if you do that, and the overall dues deadline is December 1st. And more information can be found on how to submit these dues on the New England Key Club website. So here's the structure of Key Club. So people watching this, it's most likely you guys are members. And that is it's like a pyramid. So members are the main foundation of the club. And then next comes clubs officers. So like your president, your vice president, secretary, which help facilitate that single club. And then there's divisions, which is what us, the lieutenant governors, are a overseer of. And then there's the districts, and we're a part of the New England and Bermuda district, and then international, which encompasses all the districts.
A quick reminder, we're gonna have like a Q&A towards the end of this presentation. So if you guys want to put questions in already, just to start piling them up, then please do so.
Yeah. And this is just a map of all the Key Club international districts, all in the U.S. and Canada. And as you can see, where New England and Bermuda district is, the dark blue in the top right of the U.S., obviously. And yeah, if you want to take a look at that. All right.
All right, so a few buzzwords or acronyms that we should all be accustomed to and we should know are the following. So Key Club International, KCI, we went over this. Basically, Key Club International is the overall, all the key clubs in throughout the world combined make up Key Club International. And like I said, they work on international projects mainly, which are Children's Miracle Network, CMN hospitals, March of Dimes, and UNICEF. DCON, ICON, basically you guys probably know DCON, or you would have known DCON if you guys, because it would have been held last week. But DCON is basically a 3-day, I think 2-night conference where all the key clubs, or most key clubs, send a select few of their members and their board to this district convention, where everyone will meet. I think roughly we get like 700 or so here in New England and Bermuda. Other states have way more. I think over in Florida they have like thousands, 2,000s around there. But basically at DCON, the main purpose is to elect your next Key Club district board. So governor, secretary, stuff like that. But also it's to not only learn, you get to learn about what Key Club is and what the New England Bermuda district does with Key Club, but also you meet a lot of people. You meet people throughout New England, and not really Bermuda, because Bermuda doesn't really send anyone, but you meet a bunch of people from the New England area. You form relationships. There are 2 dances. You have plenty of fun with those. You have my favorite part of DCON is usually we have a Key Clubby Bear auction. And during this Clubby Bear auction, there's like 5 or 6 teddy bears, which we auction off. And the best part is towards the end, where for like the last 1 or 2 Key Clubby Bears, everyone wants the Clubby Bear. So we end up raising like, I think one year we raised upwards of like $1,100 just from one Key Clubby Bear. And it takes a group effort, because a club will want to bid and get the Key Clubby Bear, and when they run out of money, other clubs will help pitch in and help them out. And so that's basically what DCON is. And you take DCON magnified and you get ICON, which this year it's going to be held San Francisco, if it is still held. So I suggest if anyone's really looking forward to getting really in depth with Key Club, definitely explore the option of attending ICON. It can cost a lot more money, but if you work with the clubs, if you work with organizations, you can raise that money in no time. And your advisors and your district is here to help you to be financially stable and have the opportunity to attend ICON. And then we move on to NEBD, New England and Bermuda District, which is our district, encompasses New England and Bermuda. Then we have LTG, Lieutenant Governor, which me, Lydia, and Joey are. For now, Lydia is going to be the governor next year, so quick shout out to her. But as Lieutenant Governor, we serve as the liaison between our local clubs. About like some lieutenant governors have connections to like 7 or 8, but for me, I only have like 3 or 4. So it just depends what division you're in charge of. But we serve as the liaison between our local clubs and the district boards. So how we get our news to our fellow local clubs is through monthly newsletters, which we are supposed to have out by the 10th of every month. And these newsletters are 4-page, or only 4 pages, but there's plenty of information you can get on all of them. If you want to see some of those newsletters, I bet you guys have already, but you can contact me, Lydia, or Joey, and we can definitely show the plethora of newsletters that we've already created. Um, and also as lieutenant governors, we're tasked with setting up with DCON, which is a shame because we had worked so hard to make sure DCON would have been amazing this year. But hopefully some of those ideas get passed on next year. And that's basically what we are as lieutenant governors. We're just the messengers. And so KPTI, Kiwanis Pediatric Institute, that's one of our district projects. I have a definition of the district project specifically, if you guys want to know a little more about it. So KPTI was formed in 1981 as a partnership between the New England Kiwanis family and the Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center in Boston. KPTI is the first pediatric trauma center in the world to provide medical care for injured children, medical research of pediatric trauma, and injury prevention programs for children and families. Key clubs serve their communities through KPTI programs like Kiwanis Family Safety and Bike Rodeo, which since 1994, Kiwanis clubs throughout New England have hosted Kiwanis Family Safety Days and Bike Rodeos with local police departments, fire departments, and other organizations to teach children and families about bike safety, provide reflectors and helmets for free, and inspect bicycles for safety to make sure that our people who are riding bicycles are safe and they're not going to get into a crash. And Key Clubby Bears, which I mentioned earlier, that's a KPTI partnership thing. So New England District of Key Club distributes these cute and cuddly teddy bears to emergency medical facilities, ambulance companies, medical hospital services, and police and fire departments. The bears help to calm injured and frightened children. Each Key Club in New England can receive for free up to 24 Clubby Bears per year. And then we have COPI, Children of Peace International, which is one of our district projects. And so COPI is a humanitarian organization dedicated to helping the people of Vietnam develop the ability to help themselves. Through 2 annual medical missions and the financial and material support of orphanages, hospitals, and clinics, COPI offers help and hope to those in need. The children of Vietnam are those most in need of help in a developing country still mired by poverty. COPI provides care for orphans, education, healthcare, and social assistance. The New England and District of Key Clubs build a school with COPI in Vietnam that provides viral education and services to a rural community that otherwise has nothing. More recently, we have provided funding to support the school and fund the construction of an addition to the building. In fact, I think this year we decided to put some more money into forming another building of some sort into Vietnam and help them out some more through COPI. And then we have RTC, DCM, OCM, regional training conferences, divisional council meetings, and officer council meetings. These are held by lieutenant governors. So for the RTC, basically it's, you can, lieutenant governors can hold them by themselves or with a group of lieutenant governors. And at the RTC, you kind of learn about Key Club in general. It's kind of like a Key Club 101 workshop. And at the RTC, you get free food again, for the most part, if you have a good LTG hosting it. And you learn not only what the LTG does, but you learn what presidents, how to be a better president, how to be a Key Club, better Key Club member, how to be a better Key Club secretary and such. Divisional council meetings and officer council meetings, I haven't held any of those, but if Joey and Lydia have, they can speak on that. Have you guys held any of those?
I personally
Yeah.
haven't, but okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I haven't held those, so you can go.
Okay, yeah, so Division 5 has had a couple, and usually they send, each club sends a couple representatives, members, if it's a divisional council meeting, or if it's an officer council meeting, usually just officers, and we talk about what's going on in our division, in our district, and international. And it's just kind of like a little tutoring session. I try to help them with anything they might be struggling with in their club, and also just educate them with what's happening with Key Club at the moment.
Thank you, Olivia. And so for our final acronym, we have NED, which is Ned the Lobster, the New England Bermuda District of Key Club mascot. And so, yeah, NED stands for New England District. There's actually a chant for NED. And if you guys want us to chant that, we can do so. But we need you to ask us to do so first.
Yes.
In a few slides, yes, we will.
And so our district executive board, we have Andrew Curtihy, who is our governor for now. Lydia is going to be your soon-to-be governor. Grace Jarrell, district secretary. Jonah Cody, district treasurer. Ava Jarrell, district bulletin editor. So these contacts probably won't be helpful right now as they are moving on, but Lydia, you can talk to if you need anything. She's going to be the next governor. These people were amazing, and they're very good for our success as a district this year. Then we have Mia Rollins, who is my decon chair and the decon chair for the New England Bermuda District of Key Club. Rachel Gardella, public relations chair. Emily Chung, district projects chair, and Kelsey Brasser, the Kiwanis family chair. These 4 positions are elected, are chosen. They don't go through like they don't give a speech or anything. They're elected by our district board, by these 4. So if you want to explore a potential leadership position, contact the new district board, and you'll get to know that. And this is our chant. Yeah. So yeah, you want it. LOBSDER.
Yeah, got it. LOBSDER to Rhode Island, New Hampshire to Vermont, Mass to Connecticut, NED is what's up.
Like Bermuda.
Like Bermuda. Make sure you know this because I don't know it well.
That's something super popular. If you go to Decon or Icon, we usually try to say it as loud as we can. So if you're planning on going to international convention, definitely something to study up.
And if next year you plan on running for a leadership position in the New England Bermuda District, there's like a 99% chance that someone's going to ask you this during the Q&A session. So you should probably memorize it.
All right, so these are some of our district-wide events in the New England and Bermuda District. So these range from being in your division to the entire district. So we have regional training conferences, which thank you, Elfie, for already talking a little bit about. That's when your lieutenant governor and a few others train your club officers on their duties for the year. And that's also open to general members. And then we have Key Leader, which is a leadership camp in September, which is for Key Clubbers, and then there are also just high schoolers that attend that as well. And that's in New Hampshire, really fun. And then we have divisional council meetings, which are also put on by your lieutenant governor, and we already talked about those. KPTI Day, which is KPTI is one of our district projects, and this is a day where you actually get to go to KPTI in Boston, and there'll be guest speakers there. You can bring anything that you might have like a donation for them. Yeah, and you get to meet other Key Clubbers from our district, and then district convention and international convention we already covered. So
you also get free food at KPTI Day.
Good.
Okay, so district projects. I talked a little bit about a few of these already. So why district projects? The reason is to fulfill our mission, serving the children of the world. Each project supports children in some way. Camp Sunshine is a free summer camp for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. Camp Sunshine supports children with families diagnosed with diseases such as cancer, kidney disease, lupus, solid organ transplants, and other life-threatening illnesses. Attend one of these week-long camps, and the focus is on alleviating the stress that a life-threatening illness takes not only on the sick child, but also on the sick child's family. And families have an opportunity to rebuild their relationships together and to meet other families facing similar situations, and they can cope and they can relate with each other. And the camp is free of charge to families and staffed by volunteers. Key clubs can support Camp Sunshine through the Freezing for a Reason Polar Plunge, which is an event that is held throughout New England in January, February, and March, as well as other fundraisers. And then we have KPTI. I talked about this earlier. Once again, a floating hospital that works to treat children who have suffered pediatric trauma. And Children of Peace, COPI, a nonprofit organization that supports the families of Vietnam after the Vietnam War. I talked about that too earlier.
So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to leave them in our chat now. Don't be shy. We're willing to talk about anything.
Okay, so I have a few pre-made questions that people probably are thinking about. Let me go back. So Lydia and Joey, what would you say is the reason that you joined Key Club, and what would you say to someone who is thinking about joining Key Club?
I'd say I joined Key Club because I saw that my friends were doing it, and I thought it would be really cool to join because I would be able to make new friends, but still like have engage in service to others, which is I did that a little bit already in like middle school, so I wanted to do it again in high school, and it is really fun, honestly, because not only do you get to help others, you also get to make new friends and do it with friends, and yeah.
I joined Key Club because my dad actually used to be the Key Club advisor, so I knew a lot of members of our sponsoring Kiwanis Club. So I was really interested in just kind of living up to what he used to do. Definitely recommend it. It's very fun. I also made a lot of friends within the club, not only within my Kiwanis Club. Oh, it looks like we have a question.
All right, yes.
So as an LTG, was it stressful and or nerve-wracking at first?
Yes.
I think I'll go first. For me, being an LTG was very stressful and nerve-wracking at first because I thought it was a crazy amount of work, and I had a bunch of other extracurriculars I was already stressed about. But when I attended the training in April up in Maine with my fellow Key Clubbers, my fellow LTGs, all that stress, all that stress I had went away quickly, thanks to a large part of Mr. Bradford and Mrs. Green, who are two of your advisors that you'll have if you're a lieutenant governor. And they planned out the whole trainer. They told us everything we had to do. They made a whole schedule out for us. They gave us a bunch of packets and how to do this, how to do that. They had a bunch of Q&As for us, and we asked all our questions. And in the end, I realized that although making a monthly newsletter may seem stressful, once you get going, it's not too stressful. You have plenty of time to do it, and if you are going through something, if you're hitting a rough patch in your life, feel free to contact Mr. Bradford and Mrs. Green and tell them about it, and they'll help you out. They'll extend your deadlines. And I think being lieutenant governor, it still helps you because though it's a hard workload, it prepares you for not only high workload in high school, but then in college and then in the workplace. And I got to meet a bunch of great people through being a lieutenant governor, so I definitely don't regret it. And I wish that we could have had Decon to kind of have our last hurrah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Alfie covered it all. I definitely felt the exact same way. At first, when I was elected at Decon, when I was pinned, I was kind of nervous, But what I learned, like Alfie said, they laid everything out in the training. So it wasn't so bad because you knew what you were doing once they told you. And you were able to, make your own schedule according to, balancing out your other priorities and your time, which is what I did. And once you get used to it, it becomes easier because you get into a rhythm. get into a routine, which is what I discovered. And and I definitely, it was definitely very fun for me. It was a very great experience for me. And I would certainly recommend it to anybody who, is looking for some leadership position in Q Club.
And
Yeah,
even
you guys. Oh,
oh,
sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead.
Okay. Even if you're not like a art person making newsletters, I found out like I never was really an art guy, but making newsletters actually was really fun because I got to tap into a side of me, a creative side of me that I never like knew. So I played around with different shapes, different structures, different color schemes. It was a fun time for my creative side too.
I think you guys pretty much covered it. For that question, I just like to say thank you for asking that question. I feel like being an LTG is pretty scary at first, but definitely agree it gets a lot easier. You have a lot of great thing about being LTG is you have so many people that are also LTG. You can reach out to them. Everyone's in the same boat. So really, okay, we have another question. What's your favorite service project?
Mine is definitely Salvation Army. It's a very common service project. You've probably already heard it before. And you've probably seen people like ringing the bell outside of your, local grocery store. So that's what Salvation Army is. And I like it. It's my favorite service project because it's just really fun. And it's especially fun to do with friends because in my personal experience, like I was able to kind of play music, we kind of brought a speaker and we were dancing, ringing the bell. So yeah, it's very fun.
Mm-hmm. I would say my favorite service project is one that I do with my my home key club, Mystic Valley Key Club, and it's what we do is we have a bunch of key club car washes, and then with this money that we raise through the car washes, which all the money is donated money, we take this and we during Christmas time we go over to Target, we go over to a bunch of shops, and we buy the Christmas presents for usually this year it was a family of two, a mother and a daughter, through the Respond program, which aids people who go through sexual abuse and issues such as that. So it was really amazing, and I delivered it with you, Samantha. I delivered the goods with Samantha to Response headquarters in Somerville, and we had a great talk with the people over there, and they even gave us these candy canes as a thank you, and it was a fun experience overall, and to just know that you made a difference and you helped someone out on their Christmas day, it was worth everything for me.
Mm-hmm. My favorite service project is my Key Club does a homeless awareness sleep out. So we get a bunch of refrigerator boxes and we build some Key Clubbers build like a dome for multiple people to sleep in, and then others just sleep in the one refrigerator box by themselves. And we sleep on the front lawn of our school, and it's really fun. It's often really cold because we do it in November. But it's really cool because you're doing something, you're like really putting yourself in someone else's shoes and showing that you care for them.
So we have another question from Olivia. What service projects have you guys done as a district?
All right, so we have a variety of, we don't really do service projects all together. We have suggested service projects. So we have a Humans of NEBD Key Club Instagram, and once a week there are service projects featured on that account. But we also have service projects that we try to do as a district. They're like advertised for everyone to participate in. So we have the Lemonade Challenge, which is where you eat a lemon, and it's just like the ice bucket challenge. So you nominate people and then they eat a lemon.
I know at KPTI Day as a district, there's like a section of at Tufts Medical Center where I remember this year we had a bunch of people who went in and made these DIY like rat figures, and we donate them because there'd be a fun little toy for those at KPTI and the kids there, and kind of like cheer up their day. And at KPTI Day, I guess not really like a district service project, but most clubs usually bring their own set of stuff that to give KPTI, such as like backpacks or blankets for the kids at KPTI. So I guess that's sort of another district service project that we work on as a district.
We have another question, which is, what was your favorite part of serving as LTG?
Joey, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. That's fine. That's actually a good question. There's quite a few things I liked about being a lieutenant governor. I'd say my favorite one. This might sound counterintuitive, but I actually really liked making the newsletters. At first, you probably wouldn't think that would be my favorite thing, but the reason why it was my favorite thing is because you're as a lieutenant governor, your newsletter, there's certain content that you have to include in it, but it's your own newsletter. You can make the kind of the format of your. I mean, there's certain format. There's sort of format guidelines, general guidelines for the format, but you could still make it into your own thing with your own colors, your own shapes. You can just kind of lay it out how you please. And I just really liked experimenting with that, experimenting with advertising all the different things about Key Club.
And on the topic of making newsletters, something like I did, I had like Key Club trivia every single newsletter, and it was kind of like a fun little aspect I put in. And also had like quote of the month, so stuff like that. You can be creative with it. That's fun. For me, I would say my favorite part of being at LTG, besides meeting the great people like my fellow lieutenant governors and my fellow district board members, I would say I loved being in the process of in the decon committee and helping make decon 2020. Like I got to design a shirt design, potential shirt design for decon. I got to design a logo, a theme, and it was, although mine didn't get chosen, it was fun to see how creative everyone was, and we all supported each other, and we all loved our each other's ideas, and just having that the ability to chip in and help out with making decon as great as it was, or as great as it would have been, was my favorite part.
My favorite part of serving as LTG was probably, I also really enjoyed newsletters. Don't get me wrong, but I really like to visit different Key Clubs just because I was so used to the way my Key Clubs did things. It was really interesting to get to travel somewhat locally and see how different Key Clubs can function and run. It was really inspiring. People had some really great ideas, and it was awesome to listen to.
Okay, so we have another question, Smith again. What is the best and worst part of being an LTG, a part of the district board?
I think the best part. You can go.
No, you can go.
That's all right. Oh, thank you. I'd say, in my opinion, the best part about being on the district board is just knowing. It's a good question. I think the best part is just collaborating with everybody, especially like at the meetings. During the meetings, we get to like collaborate into our different committees. Kind of Alfie talked about the decon committee that he was in. I was in, the club building and character development committee and the Kiwanis family committee. I think that's kind of the best part, is just knowing that you're a part of it and you're kind of serving several communities like at once, basically, since you like oversee multiple clubs.
Yeah.
So yeah, collaborating with all the other LTGs. The worst part, I don't know. I guess the worst part is just like, I guess the very, very beginning, because it just seems so stressful from the very beginning, as we said earlier. I guess that's the worst part. But once you get past that part, you'll get used to it really fast, and it'll be a lot of fun.
I think the best part for me with the district board is getting to meet every like 2 or 3 months at the district board meetings, whether it's at Maine, New Hampshire, wherever it may be. Just being around the amazing people that are the lieutenant governors and the district board, the governors, the secretaries, the advisors, Mr. Bradford, Mr. Cofrancisco, Miss Green, all of them, just Mrs. Fitzgerald, all of them just amazing people. And it's always a positive, fun time when I'm with them. Always good vibes. And the worst part, I would say, for some of those meetings, we have to go to Maine, have to go to New Hampshire, and those rides are like 2 or 3 hours for me because I'm from Boston, a few miles off of Boston. So it's quite a bit. Almost fall asleep a few times driving, but it's all worth it at the end.
Um, I would say the best part of being on the district board for me is just being surrounded by so many people that are equally as passionate about Key Club and serving other people. Again, super inspiring to be with so many people that are just super nice, helpful, really just like really nice people. And honestly, I really can't think of anything that was bad about being on the district board. I love serving for Key Club. I mean, I guess I could agree with Joey that it is a little bit difficult when you first start out, but again, totally worth it.
All right, so let's knock off a few of these sample questions. How can I get more involved in our organization?
Join Key Club.
Join Key Club.
If you have not already, I mean, I'm assuming all of you have that are watching, but that's definitely one way you can start. And like Alfie mentioned earlier, with the different types of Key Clubs, like the Circle K International, all that, that's one way you can continue, you know, to get involved. Because many people think that, oh, you know, I'm in Key Club, but you know, in college, then I'm done. But no, you don't have to be done because you can do it in college and you can do it as an adult. So I think that's a way you can get involved, like continuously.
And if you don't have a Key Club to join, help out at your local Kiwanis Club, help out at your local Action Club, Builders Club, or even help out at your nearest food drive or anywhere. Just helping your community in general would be amazing. Obviously, to get more involved in this organization, go to the events. I think that's the simplest thing. If you go to events, you'll see the impact it can make, and you'll come back. And then register for Decon, register for Icon, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Another thing is running for office. Super fun. There's so many leadership opportunities in our organization. You can run for a club position, an LTG, district board, international board, appointed positions. So that's a really great way to fulfill one of our core values, leadership.
Mm-hmm. How can I serve others at this time?
All right, so I wrote this question. So we have on our NEBD Key Club Instagram, we have a bunch of different service projects, service project ideas that you can do during quarantine. So we have face masks for KPTI. I believe the Thirst Project was something that was featured on a story yesterday. And then just like talk to your LTG. They should have been sent some resources about serving others at this time. So.
Joey, anything?
Oh no, I think she covered it. Yeah.
Okay. Where can I find more information about Key Club? You can do that on the New England Bermuda District website, nebd.com. On this, you can find all sorts of information from Key Leader to dues to Decon to who's on the district board. And you can also read our newsletters, Lieutenant Governor leaders, newsletters, Lieutenant Governor newsletters, but also the Yankee, which there are 4 from this year, and you can find them all on the New England Bermuda District website for that. And we wanted to do a quick little Kahoot game if you guys want to join in. So I'm going to go to that right now.